In the hum of the studio where the levels run high, there's a voice cutting through like a lightning sky. At Stork Media, he's holding the throne. The audio wizard, his name's Jeff Stone. He's taking names while the cameras roll, with a sarcastic grin and a heart of gold. Changing the game one upload at a time, making the hustle like a victimless crime. So come join the flock, don't you stay behind. Leave the boring old world and the daily grind, with a laugh and a thought to get you through. Jeff's got a brand new perspective for you. He's the king of the mic, the influence of soul, keeping us steady and taking control. Now Boston, Ginger Sharp, and Mary B's got the whip. She's selling and hippie chick, I'm making a hit. Dusty and Jan are the brains of the crew, but there's plenty of room in the rafters for you. Don't let the smart kids have all of the fun. The master revolution has only begun. He'll roast you a little, then lift you back up, pouring pure chaos in a coffee cup. So come join the flock, don't you stay behind. Leave the boring old world in the daily grind, with a laugh and a thought to get you through. Jeff's got a brand new perspective for you. He's a king of the mind, the influence of soul, keeping us steady and taking control. It's more than a channel, it's a state of mind, where the jokes are fast and the truth's easy to find. From the audio board to the YouTube screen, the funniest disrupted as you've ever seen. Someone's on the edge making the call. Master media standing 10 feet tall. Stop being a stranger, get in on the play. Jeff Stone's gonna help you survive the day. You come join the fly, come join the fly. Thank you, hippie chick, for getting the channel out. Hey, come join the fly, and that's Stork Media. Jeff is ready to ride.
Hello, 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 hello. It is May 15th, Friday, early morning. Wanted to come on here because, as my headline said, I think Lawferio is falling for me. We had a little bit of back and forth today on X, and she called me. I said I thought my channel deserved a $4.99, and she said that I was a lost cause. She don't invest in lost causes. So I think I'm right on the verge of turning her around. It's like really close. I've invited her on the show. I said, hey, I will repair your reputation if you come on my show. I said, in 2 weeks, I can have everybody loving you. Okay, maybe not everybody, all right? But just bear with me and everybody. Get Nan on here, help her out a little bit, get her back on the right side. So she quits with the two goofballs, right? 3 of them, actually, if you count JFK show off. So I'm also going to talk about Brian from LTL and, of course, Young Jerks, Mike. They were together a day ago on the show. And so we got to watch that, right? But before we watch that, just want to share a nice song that I made for them and Nan. I put Nan in there too, but I also recovered from that and I wrote Nan a very nice ballad, and I'll even play that too. So, but here's my great song for Brian, JFK, and Mike from Young Jerks. Let's listen, okay? Give it a shot.
Well, I logged on to YouTube, it was a Friday night, looking for the truth, but I only saw what seems to be a fight. There's a Young Jerk, LTO Media 2, and JFK show off yelling, I'm telling you, disclaimer. They claim they're heroes fighting the good fight, but it's just the same old drama shining in the light. No real talent, no content to produce, just screaming about Turtle Boy and making up excuses. Oh, they're the YouTube frauds, living on the screen, feeding off the scandal, keeping it routine. They ain't got no talent, it's all just for show. Where the real creators are, they wouldn't even know. Yeah, they're cashing in on the ching-ching from Old Man Gallagher, the Glare and the rest. While their numbers drop, they are failing every test. Hey, they whine about Turtle Boy, they scream about the Glare. They're all obsessed with power and couldn't be any scarier. They say they're standing tall, but they're living on a whim, depending on their Gallagher for that ching, ching, ching. Oh, it's a sad side, a desperate kind of scam when your whole channel's built on a social media sham. No original life, no insightful commentary, just screaming in the microphone till they're acting crusty and untwisted tragedies. Oh, the YouTube frauds, living on the screen, feeding off the scandal, keeping it routine. They ain't got no talent, it's all just for show. Where the real creators are, they wouldn't even know. Yeah, they're cashing in on this ching, ching, ching. Also the Glare and the rest. While the numbers drop, all 3 are failing every test. Randall, Mike are fading right before our eyes and losing all their pride. Oh, hairpiece Brian has nowhere left to hide. Subscribers are vanishing, fleeing from the mess. It's time to find a new job, a little less stress. Maybe try a real skill, something they can handle, cause the internet is done with their manufactured scandal. Oh, they're the YouTube frauds, living lean, feeding off the scandal, keeping it routine. And no talent, it's all just for show. Where the real creators are, they wouldn't even know. Yeah, they're cashing in on this ching, 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 and the Glare and the rest. While the numbers drop,
All right. I thought that was a banger. What do you guys think? I thought it was. And yeah, it was a little hard on Nan, and I'm sorry. I wanted her to come on my show, help her out a little bit, but she said I'm a lost cause. So then I thought, okay, what do I do? Do I just go ahead and write her a nice love song? So I decided to. Let's listen to that before we get into talking about Crawford and Brian from LTL. All right, let's listen to the love song. This is kind of making up for Nan for putting her in with the other three there. All right, so just kind of smoothing it over a little bit. Nice 80s feel, isn't it? Yeah, it's nice 80s little love song. Huh?
Neon lights on the dashboard glow. A German sports car racing slow. Nan grips the wheel, her heart on fire, driven mad by one desire. She holds a note of $4.99, a final token of broken line. But the engine idles in the cold for a story already told. Oh, Jeff, she's crazy for your touch.
I think she is.
But she knows she asks too much.
She does.
You're a lost cause in the dark, a dying flame, a faded spark. The girl in the fast car looks behind, searching for what she'll never find. Your feelings left, they drove away. Nothing left for her to say. Engine roars, but the highway's bare. She's chasing ghosts in the midnight air, wanting to give you all she owns, to melt the ice inside your bones. But your eyes are blank, your spirit's gone, a shadow moving past the dawn, over the love you used to hold, leaving Nan out in the cold. Oh, Jeff, she's crazy for your touch, but she knows she asks too much. You're a lost cause in the dark, a dying flame, a faded spark. The girl in the fast car looks behind, searching for what she'll never find. Your feelings left, they drove away. Nothing left for her to say. 499 regrets, paying debts her heart forgets. She shifts the gear, she clears the frame, but the exhaust just screams your name.
A nice love ballad from like the 80s. Something Nan would like.
Oh, Jeff, she's crazy for your touch.
Yeah, we know that.
But she knows she asks too much. You're
Yes, she does.
a lost cause in the dark, a dying flame, a faded spark. The girl in the fast car looks behind, searching for what she'll never find. Your feelings left, they drove away. Nothing left for her to say.
Taillights fading in the gray, not to be confused with spreading them. In my driveway, German steel carries her away. Lost cause, Jeff, just a lost cause. Nan's driving on.
Wow. That was my 80s love song for Nan. I think she's softening up a little bit to me, just so everybody knows. I think it is. I think It's going to take some time, but I did invite her on the show. I said, come on the show. I'll help your reputation out. And maybe, I can get people to love you in 2 weeks. I said, give me 2 weeks. Get you back on the right side here. And I think we could do it. But it's up to her now, right? I made the moves, wrote her a nice love song. I don't think James Jackson wrote her a song or The Glare. No, I did. So, Nan, just remember that, all right? Mike Crawford didn't. Brian didn't. Brian was in a band, he said, and he didn't even write you a song. But I did. So what are we going to do this morning? Everybody's having, they're going show after. Brian from LTL Media is doing show. I guess he's trying to do enough shows so he can add up to 1,000 views. If he does like 3 or 4 of them, maybe he can get there, I guess. But now I got to catch up. But it was nice because what was it? Yes, it would have been Wednesday. He was on with Brian was on with Crawford, so I got both of them on the same show. So that's got to be YouTube gold right there, right? It has to be. So we're going to watch a little bit of that, and I'm sure I'm going to pick out some things that were really. Let's see if we can go further ahead here. I don't like Mike's music, his opening music. I don't know. He could have done so much better with that. But hey, to each their own, right? So let's see. Let's watch this for a little while. Like I said, I want to catch up on JFK. And JFK is putting shows out like crazy. Another one that's trying to do enough that he can, get enough views, I guess. So we'll catch up. That's what I like to do when I'm doing shows by myself. And like to see what everybody else is doing. Kind of give my insight of what I think is good, what's not so good. And they don't have to take it from me. No, not at all. It's like Nan, She called me lost cause. She told me I was a lost cause. She said she don't invest in lost causes. Well, damn it, Nan, I'm going to show you. I'm not a lost cause. That's what I'm going to do. So anybody who watches this later on the replay crew, make sure you share, all right? Everybody should share this. Because there's some bangers in there. A couple of songs are bangers. And I worked hard on them. So I'd appreciate everybody sharing, liking. If you haven't subscribed, you watch this later, somebody shares it, please make sure that they know they have to subscribe if they haven't. You just got to get the likes up, all right? So I appreciate everybody that's checking it out now. We're going to be on for a little bit. Like I said, we're going to go through this, what Mike Crawford and Brian from LTL. And just watch. It's when I heard about they were going to be together, I thought, well, how are they going to be able to share the stage? Really, when it's me. So let's see how it goes for both of them. All right. So here we go.
We had a great family dinner last night, so I enjoyed that, and just keeping at it. We've got a lot of dog walks right now. A lot of
6 months ago, Mike said, boy, I got a lot of things happening. I got interviews. I got a lot of things. I got people that are going to come on. You're going to be shocked at who I got. I got my Rolodex out, and I got people coming on. 6 months, he had an Afro Man on. But who does he really have on? I haven't seen, there hasn't been really anybody. Said Nan, I guess, maybe. Ed Flynn, the councilman, Boston. Nothing earth-shattering like he was saying in 6 months ago, 5 months ago. Oh, you watch. I got some people coming on. These shows are going to be incredible. I don't need Betterow. I'm better than Betterow. That's just a dumb statement. He's never had numbers again since Betterow left him. He was making money even after Betterow said, no super chats. But then he waited till after, and then he got the super chats. He was making money. But old Crawford ruined that, didn't he?
A lot of things happening right now for me. But the show must go on.
Yes,
definitely. Yeah, my hair looks nicer. I put some product in there. I don't know if you noticed. My hair's getting long. I put some product in, and I don't usually do that because I'm kind of punk rock.
Mike's putting some product in the hair. Look at that, everybody. Look at that. Look at that. Nice little cut. You know what's Mike, about 55, 56 years old? Still wearing a 19-year-old haircut. Look at him. He's putting some product in there. I'm going to put some product in my hair. I got to color my hair like Mike. I got to figure out the color I want. Told Mark that I was going to go blonde, but he doesn't like that. But look at Crawford, though. He's getting some product in there.
Rock, but when it gets unruly, sometimes I do that, and I notice people like it. So
They like it.
I'm doing what you like. I'm
Okay.
trying to please over here. We aim to please at the Young Jerks.
Oh,
So what's up, everyone? My name is Mike Crawford. If you're
we don't want to hear
first time
farts
here,
though.
please like, subscribe, follow. We're just waiting for people to check in. We're running a couple minutes late. That's mostly because of
Oh,
me.
no.
I was running around. Charlie got a loaf of bread tonight. You don't even know. He didn't eat any. It's a cleaning day. When we have the cleaners here, we take down all the barriers, and we forgot to put one of the barriers up, and he gets right in.
Charlie got the bread.
Counter. He's bad. He's a bad dog.
He's a bad dog.
We love it. Charlie's having the time of his life. He loves to clean house, so we're happy the cleaners came, but we had to get all set up, and we've got a big show today. We've got a lot of content to go
That
over.
product in.
We're going to be talking about Enrique Delgado Garcia tonight and his death, and the Mass State Police and the cover-up. I call this a cover-up because that's really what this is. It is a total and complete cover-up of what happened. And the truth is starting to come out. There's, I think, 4 Massachusetts State Police officers who are under indictment for this. Manslaughter is the charge. And some of them are also up in perjury, Jennifer Penton. So we're going to talk about that tonight. We have the guy who's been covering this from the get-go. He's taken this up. He did a billboard for it. Matt, remember the billboard?
Yeah, I didn't think
Out of his own money.
Billboard.
He didn't raise money from everybody else. Didn't have like a Kickstarter or whatever. He just took his own money. Got a billboard for Enrique Delgado Garcia because he wanted to make sure that this thing gets swept out of the rug. And I think because of that,
Brian is such a nice guy. Such a nice guy. Did that all himself. Why do you think he did it? There was an ulterior motive to why he did it. But boy, this is going to be good, isn't it? Those two together on screen. Wow.
big part of
This is YouTube gold right here.
what he did, getting the word out with that bill.
Only thing better would be to have JFK show off on the show too, right? That'd be, get 3 of them right on there. Wow.
Billboard and making a lot of noise on it, and getting retired Mass State Trooper Todd McGee on a show to talk about it over and over again. I think it led to an independent investigation from David Meyer, and that's where we have indictments of these Mass State Police officers. So I give him a lot of props for this because I think he's been the one who has taken a lot of shit, and he's championed for the family.
Not that he deserves it, right? It's not that he deserves a lot of shit, okay? He's just taking a lot of it, right?
And there is no video. You were lied to. Troll in the chat. You were lied to. There was no video. Maybe you should look into why they lied to you and what was the lie.
Oh.
Maybe Brian wants to even talk about that lie. I don't know. I think he's probably already talked about it before, but there was no video. You were lied to. And he's protected this family. The family definitely appreciates him. Pretty sure they're very thankful that he's showing up to court covering this. He's got all the exclusive video recently outside of court of Jennifer Penton, Casey Lamonte. He's been right there. He's got the lawyers speaking, and I like the way he handles himself outside of court too. So I'm very excited. He's got a great channel. People already know about it. LTL Media is the YouTube channel. He's also got a website. Make sure you like, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you're following Brian.
Yep.
Welcome back to the show tonight.
Here he is.
Brian, LTL Media.
Wow.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Wow, there's Brian.
What's up? Now I have all this pressure. You put all this pressure on me. There's the big build-up. But
it's gonna be a big build out because the trolls are all here. I love it. Like you and I together tonight. This
They
is
love
like
this, Mike. Mike, they love this.
BLT and Mike Kryford on a show together tonight.
How
They're
do
going to
you-
be so upset.
How do you like that he even refers to him
I
as Mike
love-
himself as Mike Kryford? That's great. That's great stuff right there.
This, Mike. But thanks for having me back on. It's been quite a while, and I think the last time we spoke,
Brian, don't you dare get any super chats. Nobody likes it. Remember, nobody likes it when you get money. So don't you dare do that.
or the last time I was on your show was when we had Senator, and his last name is slipping my mind, but we actually talked about
Because you
Enrique
were on
Delgado
and you didn't
Garcia
pay
case with
attention.
him.
It slips your mind.
Look, we're now 19 months later since this incident happened at the Mass State Police Academy, and I think that David Meyer, the special investigator and now special prosecutor, has done a phenomenal job. And I can tell you this is that the family is very happy with the progression and the work that David Meyer has done in this case, and I am too. And I got to be honest with you, Mike. I think that when this case first initially happened and we heard about it, and the kind of the slowing of the investigation when Meyer took over, I didn't really understand the process. And you got to start looking at these things when you have lawyers and union representatives, then when they get involved, and that tends to slow everything down. And now that we found out over 150 witnesses were interviewed in this case, and that's why it took so long. But from reading through the statement of the Commonwealth and what David Meyer has found out about this investigation, and believe me, there's going to be more that comes out in court about this if we get to court and we don't start seeing one of the four roll over on each other, or maybe possibly all of them take plea deals. But I think more will come out in court about this case. But I couldn't be more happier that we're at this point right now, and things look like it's rolling really well at this point.
Oh, there's an awkward silence.
It's me.
Can you hear me?
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I thought you were freezing, and then I saw my screen freeze. It was me. You were fine though. I mean, I was gripped on every word because you really get into it already.
I was too.
My first, the first thing I'll say is that state senator was Michael Moore. I had to look it up to make sure.
Michael Moore.
He's been on the show a couple of times. He's a good guy. There's a couple Michael Moores at the State House, but there's also the documentary guy. Remember Michael? It's funny. A lot of Michael Moores out there.
Bowling for Columbine.
Yeah.
I think there's two state senators who are Michael Moore or something like that at the State House. So it's funny. But yeah, so anyways, I mean, one of the first things that you brought up tonight was the chance of these folks. There's four of them, right? Four police officers.
Yeah, you got four troopers. You got Lieutenant Jennifer Penton. She's been charged with voluntary manslaughter, and there's a second undercharge, which is like basically irresponsible in an exercise environment. And then you have she's also facing a charge of perjury, and we can get into that as well. You have Trooper Edwin Rodriguez. He's got a pretty extensive pro boxing career or record, and he's part of the defensive tactics unit was at the Mass State Police Academy. You have Trooper David Montanez that is facing charge.
I bet you that guy would like to just take Brian and box him right in his nose, and Crawford too. I bet you that guy would.
As well, another defensive tactic part of that team as well. And then you have Trooper Casey Lamont, and Casey Lamont is also I think he's pro or semi-pro jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu expert technician or whatever, and he's part of the defensive tactics unit as well. And the thing about this is when you hear about this, it's failed leadership is the major thing that we're seeing here. I still think there's going to be more things that come out. We've heard about racism at the academy. I've talked to a former state trooper that has talked a lot about that, off the record. And I think, some of that may come out in trial.
Wow. The racism stuff. That's the first time we've hearing about that part of it.
Oh, wow.
Which is not surprising, but it's the first time I've heard anyone really mention that in relation to this. Do you think you mentioned some of them possibly could take plea deals? Do you think that will happen? Is there any indication they might be leaning that way?
Well, I don't have any indication at this point, but I think once their defense counsel start getting discovery and we know there's 350 pieces of evidence in this case, I mean, that's massive.
Wow.
That's a massive amount of evidence. And I think once they get the grand scope of all of that and start looking at it, you may see something like that. I mean, it's just my opinion, but you may see something like that.
All right.
Totally. And I wonder, like you said, if one of them flips on each other. It seems like one of them might already flipped, even the supervisor of the supervisors, right? I mean, somebody above them, it seems like, is that right? Possibly
Yeah, I mean,
kind
you
of
got to
flipped on
start
them?
thinking you have 150 witnesses. You have to start thinking that there's people inside that academy that came forward and actually did the right thing.
Can't believe
they
we're already a
spoke
few
up.
minutes
And
in,
there's a lot of witnesses.
and they're talking about boxing and all that, and Mike hasn't brought up his expertise in wrestling, and we're this far in. They're talking about fighting and all that.
To that actual event, the Boxing Day event,
At Bridgeport
and
State.
witnesses that were, there on the day prior to the unauthorized boxing match. So there was two sessions. You had the day prior that was unauthorized, where basically 38 recruits got in a room. They were all paired up, and they basically just boxed against each other. And that was unauthorized, and a lot of people got hurt, especially Enrique Delgado Garcia. And the problem with that is that he was basically matched up with the most skilled fighter in the class. That shouldn't have happened, and that's where you have Penton, Rodriguez, Montanez, and Lamont, where they should have been supervising and evaluating. Evaluating immediately when these recruits come into the academy, mentally, physically, and making sure that this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
Especially boxing.
Especially boxing. That's right, Mike. Maybe now I stopped it too soon. Maybe we're going to hear about wrestling.
Because I think you know this. I was a wrestler in high school, college, USA Wrestling, and a coach. So I coach kids, and we dealt with this daily. Any wrestling team, you line up the kids against the wall, and the coach comes along. This is when you're doing your workouts. You go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Right.
You basically set up the three guys who are going to wrestle each other, and it's and their little sparring partners into the circle, and you want to make sure the matchups are good. Like you don't take your most experienced guy and have him wrestle someone inexperienced. That's not helping anyone. That's getting the inexperienced guy hurt. It's crushing his morale. He's probably going to quit. And it's not helping the experienced guy. You want them to have a good matchup.
Mike is an expert in wrestling, but he had to quit wrestling because he was smoking too much dope and drinking. But he's an expert. So Bridgeport State, he had other places to go. He had offers all over, but he went to Bridgeport State. That gave him the best opportunity.
And sometimes when there's not somebody, like a lot of times we might have a heavyweight, a light heavyweight who's just too strong and experienced and big for the rest of the kids, then a coach like me would wrestle them, and usually a coach, especially if you were on the college level or Olympic level or whatever,
Right.
There's no high school kid who can hang with you, even the best. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why when I say, I was beating John Cena's brothers up, that's because they were in high school and I was graduating college. You know what I mean? Like, when we were both at the same age, they were probably going to kick my ass. Let's be serious, because they were beasts. But that's the key. Like, high school kids.
So he knows
aren't gonna
John
be able to
Cena's
compete
family.
against-
Why doesn't he get John Cena on instead of Brian? Come on, Mike.
That's the coach. So you'd have a coach jump in there. I wonder on this, like, why didn't you get, like you said, you got this guy Casey who's a champion in jiu-jitsu, whatever it is. Like, it's like judo. So he's combat sports. He knows what he's doing. And then you have this other professional boxer who went the distance with a champion. He had a championship.
Rodriguez.
Yeah. Like, this is a real good boxer. Like, he's not even like good on the local level. He's good on the national
He's a
level.
nasty boxer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
he did good against Andre Ward.
Nasty.
Like, that was a really good
Yeah.
fight.
And
I watched
that's
that
what
fight.
kind of makes it
So
even more.
why didn't they jump in? Why
Yeah,
weren't they like, you know what?
Yeah.
This is not a good matchup. We'll box this guy. Like,
Mike, you would have jumped in, right? You would have jumped in there. do a little bit of wrestling moves. What do they wear when they wrestle? What's that thing called?
Why doesn't Rodriguez or Lamonte jump in there and take, spar with the guy? It just doesn't make
and that's
sense
what
to me.
and that's what even makes it worse about this is knowing their knowledge and background of the sport. They should have known better. They should have known better in this. And like I said, I was going back to that. Recruits, from what I've learned and had these conversations with Todd McGee on my channel. Recruits are supposed to be evaluated constantly, medically, physically, mentally, as they go through the academy. And what we're finding out here is it looks like that didn't happen. And then, I mean, even Todd said on my show as well too. And he ran the boxing program there, I think for like 8 or 9 years. He helped write the operational aspect of that portion of the academy as well too. And he said that with someone that's skill level that Delgado Garcia fought, that recruit should not have been fighting at all. He should have just been pulled aside because of situations like this that can happen. And clearly, Delgado Garcia was overmatched. Not as far as stature and weight, because the recruit was much smaller in stature, but in that physicality role, he was the most skilled fighter in the class. I mean, he definitely, in my opinion, from what I know, definitely had some fighting background.
It takes like at least a couple weeks even to get like even the grasp of just the beginning basics in any type of combat sport. It's just like, in a season, usually a season or two, that's how you can really like jump ahead. But geez, like that's what we would have been doing as coaches. We would have taken, like, if you have no experience, like we're just teaching you the basics over here. We'll let the advanced guys, they'll go at it. These new guys, we're going to teach them the basics so that they can at least protect themselves. And it's just wild to me that nobody, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. I can remember my senior year in high school. I had a kid come in from Florida who came in and said he was going to take my varsity spot. He was talking shit all fall. And I was kind of like,
I think this loves to go back to his high school days. What is up with that? He's got to be, 55, 56, maybe a little bit older. So that was a long time ago. But he loves to go back and talk about it, about how good he was as a wrestler, how all these other kids wanted to beat him so bad, but not Mike. Mike got in there and wrestled him.
What the fuck? Like, I'm thinking I'm going to win a league title that year. I'm going to do all this. And I'm like, is this kid going to take my spot? And so the first day of practice, we go at it, and I fucking destroy him. He's full of shit. He wasn't a good wrestler in Florida or whatever. And it was like within 5 minutes, my coach was like, "You're not wrestling him again." Like that, because my coach thought like the kid was legit too, because the way he was talking. Yep. But as soon as he saw what was going on, he was like, "No, boo, you're."
Yeah, Mike's too good. Yeah, man. Only if we could see videos of that, right?
You're in.
I mean, Mike would have had to have some skill as a wrestler. But look at how awkward he is doing this. So can you imagine him having skill as a wrestler? I can't imagine it. I just can't.
Different grouping. You're not wrestling him anymore. I mean, that's what you do. There was one kid that got hurt under my watch who I felt like was a good matchup against somebody else. And the kid blamed me after because he was like, that kid's a beast. I'm like, so are you, though. You're a beast, too. Like, I didn't mean to hurt you. Like, the kid got hurt in practice. Like, you feel so horrible when that happens. And like, especially a kid you want on your team. Like, all of a sudden you got a hole in the middle of the team because a guy got hurt, cracked his ribs. I mean, this happens with guys who are really good, wrestling each other. And you put someone in there that doesn't know what they're doing, or boxing's even worse because boxing, at least in wrestling, the hits are really coming down on your head or getting dropped on your neck, that type of shit, or someone coming across and hitting you in the face. But no one can just punch you in the like that's boxing. MMA is even worse because someone can just punch you straight in the head, and you really can't do that in wrestling.
Well, Mike Tyson always said, everybody's got a plan until you hit him in the mouth, Mike. So I don't know, Crawford. Maybe you just hit him in the mouth right away. They would have changed their plans.
And that's why boxing, to me, and that type of fighting is even more dangerous than what I'm talking about, which is wrestling, which I know a lot about. But I just don't get it. I just don't get it, especially boxing.
Yeah, and even the rising sport that we're seeing, and I see clips of it all the time. I'm like, these people are even fucking crazier than boxers. Is that
Slap.
the slap
Oh.
fighting, dude? That's an
That
open
should,
hit.
I don't
slap,
understand
bro.
how they.
I'd like to see somebody slap Brian in that slap. That would be funny, wouldn't it? Just slap Brian, knock some sense into him. Even Crawford, but Crawford, he would cry. He'd start crying before he got slapped.
Allow that? How do they
That's
allow
crazy. I mean, that'll kill you faster than probably a boxing hit. At least a boxing hit, you got a glove on, but that is an open hand slap, bro. You know?
And in boxing, you have defense too. Like, because good boxers, the thing is you're putting you're hoping it gets deflected or it doesn't hit all the way. And that thing, you just got to sit there and take it. I could not do that. I'd be like, you're not hitting me. I'd be like, you know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not taking a hit from you. Are you shitting me?
They'd still slap you,
That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to get slapped across the face. That's crazy. But yeah, to me, that's what bugs me so much in this. And we have Leah, who is a former Mass State police officer who went through the training program at that academy. And she said a few things here that, which I think I starred some of them. Hold on one second. I want to
Cool.
Here it is. Here's the first one. She said they made me fight a black belt.
Wow.
I want to know, did you have any experience, Leah, in like combat sports or black belt, kung fu, anything, judo, anything? Have you ever wrestled? Like, because if that's the case, that's ridiculous. That should not. I mean, you could have somebody who's a black belt teaching you some moves, drilling with you, maybe going half speed on you, Even my coaches were Olympic level. They never went all out on me, even though, I was probably the smallest guy they would wrestle because they were more heavyweights. I was more of a middleweight, but, they would just wrestle a little bit better than me.
Was a middleweight,
just to make me a little better. That's really what
must have been
should
a
be going
small
on here. Nobody should be trying to destroy each other in practice. I just wonder.
I want to let everybody know, because there was a question that Natalie asked, and she asked about, were they wearing the protective gear? Yes. I mean, it looked like, the gear they had on, they had headgear on, they had gloves on, and, all the protective gear that they would have to have this type of simulated boxing match, and going back to like the day before. So September 11th was the unauthorized boxing match. So basically what happened was the most skilled fighter was paired up with another recruit or trainee in the class. That guy, after some of the sessions during that morning, saw that this guy had the top skill in the class. Was like, fuck that, I'm not boxing this guy. So basically Enrique volunteered to box with this guy. So he ended up boxing against him, and then after the unauthorized boxing match, made complaints to recruits and staff that his head didn't feel right. He felt like he lost some of the day. So what I'm guessing is at this point, because of the trauma that he took during this unauthorized boxing match, and this is just my opinion, that's probably where he was concussed. That's probably where his and what we initially find out in the medical examiner's report, that he had bleeding on the brain. So that possibly could have started that day before. And we're obviously going to hear more about that in trial when they start to talk about all the medical aspects of what happened. But he wasn't properly medically evaluated afterwards, and he was allowed to continue to go into the 12th. Now, on the 12th, they have the authorized boxing day, and this is part of the actual overall program. So day before, not part of the program. The day of, on the 12th, that's part of the program. So now they put Enrique in against the most skilled fighter again, and they're allowed to have this match. 2 rounds, 1 minute each, and he is violently knocked down quite a few times in the first round. There's opportunities here now to stop this match, but they allow it to continue. And then they have their 60-second break. They go into the second round. As they're in the break, the more skilled fighter recruit comes back to the center of the mat, and I also want to kind of quash that. In the initial reports, they kept saying there's a ring. They fought in a ring. They didn't. They fought on the actually gym mats inside the academy. So the most skilled, the skilled fighter recruit comes over, and he's up probably off his stool about 20 or 30 seconds into the rest. Well, Delgado Garcia is on his stool and he's bent over, and he's, so there's opportunities here where that staff should have came over and medically cleared him or stopped the fight. Had multiple times to stop this fight. They allow him to get up. There's about 10 to 20 seconds of the second round, and Delgado Garcia is knocked down with a 1-2 punch, and it's very bad. It's bad what happened to him. Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna cry.
I don't know if you froze again, Mike.
Well, we thought you were gonna cry.
Muted. I assume when you say that there's, thank you for getting, being back on track. I'm infamous for the muting. You know that.
It's all right.
Sarah's laughing in the chat. I saw Sarah earlier. Sarah, that's one. I'm back to square one.
Brian almost cried. Brian almost said, I did it. And, meaning that he's the one bringing everything to the forefront there. Poor Brian. He's sitting there in his feelings for a little bit while Mike was thinking he was froze up or something. Brian, you all right? You all right, Brian? Brian.
But was there video? Because I'm guessing there was probably some video of this fight.
It's been talked about. I've seen the video. I will never ever reveal my source. Because that's not what journalists do. I don't put my sources out there. If you want to call me a journalist or whatever, but someone came forward. I have seen the video. The video now has been talked about in some of these press conferences. So that's been mentioned. What they basically do is film all these simulate, these boxing.
Does Brian have a degree in journalism? I never heard. He doesn't talk about that. I thought he sold watches and shoes. I don't know if he has a degree in journalism or not. I know Crawford doesn't, but I guess they're all journalism now.
Matches on GoPros. So it's shot on a GoPro. It's a single camera. And, for whatever reasons,
right.
And, probably for reasons like this, but the failure was this. So the failure to intervene by the four supervisors. But here's where it gets really ugly and complicated. So in the investigation, what they find, and this is what the Commonwealth states in their findings, and so Jennifer Penton, Lieutenant Penton, is interviewed by by Massachusetts State Police. She sits down for a 4-hour investigation, and they get her statement, and they actually go to the grand jury, and they start asking her a series of questions. And what has come to be revealed is when Delgado Garcia is knocked down and there's the medical response on the 12th, and he's actually being, taken by gurney, he's going to be driven to UMass Worcester. In that time, several recruits, and this is what the Commonwealth is alleging, several recruits come forward and notify her and let her know that the day before in the unauthorized match, Delgado Garcia complained about his head. Now, this is critical information that should be passed to the hospital. They should know about this because he could have had a prior injury the day before or a concussion the day before. So this changes now the medical response. So she has, with the Commonwealth saying it has this information. She goes into the grand jury. They ask her the questions, and they catch her allegedly in several lies. So now she's committed perjury. And also what we find out, as Delgado Garcia is being brought to UMass Medical, the Commonwealth is alleging that Casey Lamont, that is in charge of the scheduling, he goes back and edits the prior day before the unauthorized match to make it look like it's part of the training. So now there's your alleged cover up.
That was on the day before. Wow.
Right.
Wow.
On the unauthorized match. So now they're trying to make it look like, well, that training was part of the initial training because, if he was initially hurt in the first fight, the unauthorized match was not supposed to happen. So
I
they
was
went back
wondering
and
what
tried
she
to make
did.
it look like it was part of the routine.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is so dumb. She is so
Yeah.
dumb to do that. Why
Yeah.
would she do that? Who asked her to do that? I wonder. Who's she trying to cover up for?
Oh, Mike.
Was there an athletic trainer there? Because, I look back, I've had concussions. Definitely had like the one that was
we couldn't do that. We would never known that, Mike, unless you told us. Never would we have known that you've had concussions. Never. Huh.
definitely documented was at Bridgewater State when I was at
Bridgewater
practice. I was
State.
wrestling a guy named Mike Conley.
Mhm.
Mike what's his name? Doesn't matter. But he's from Framingham. Bunch of
Okay.
Conley guys who were
Yeah,
great wrestlers from.
There's no one in
Oh,
Massachusetts.
Connery. I
with
gotta
that.
say it right. Connery. I gotta say it right.
There's
He's
no
out
one in
there.
Massachusetts
Mike
with the
Connery.
name
A great
All right now, Mike Connery. That's the guy's name. Gave Mike Crawford a concussion
guy. He was a guy
back at Bridgeport State.
who he had a full scholarship at Springfield College, got in some trouble,
Like you, Mike.
lost his scholarship, ended up at Bridgewater State College wrestling, similar to me, but he was a little older than me. I had gotten into a little trouble too. That's why I ended up at Bridgewater State College and didn't get a scholarship too. And it's funny because we were both like the best wrestlers on the team at
Of
that
course
point.
you were.
And he was older than me, so he was like, and he used to buy alcohol for me.
Oh,
So I loved him. He gave me a concussion. So, anyways, he gives me a mild concussion in practice. And the athletic trainer, I was so mad. I was so angry because they were like, they do the test. They do the friggin' test. And they're
I
like,
bet
you got a
that was
mild
hard.
concussion. You
I
can't
bet
wrestle.
that was hard to follow your eyes, Mike, when they did that test. I bet that was hard.
Yeah.
You're not wrestling in the tournament this weekend. You're out. No
You're
more practice. 2 weeks or a week. I don't know how long. It was
Your
a
eyes
week
are
or two.
crossing. Can't do
This
it.
was early 90s. This must have been 1990, I'm guessing.
Wow.
Like it's been, how many years ago is that? 36 years later.
Years ago, yeah.
And they don't, I mean, if Bridgewater State, this little rinky-dink college, if they had a trainer in there and to stop me from wrestling over a concussion 36 years ago, I think we've come a long way in concussions. Like, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Did they have an athletic trainer there? Somebody to stop it and say, hey, you need to do the test. Was he tested? I mean, I think he should have been tested, like you said, the night
somebody
before.
died,
After the first incident, they should have tested him. Trainer should have been.
The guy dies. That's what they should be talking about. More about that. More about the video. More about the guy. But Mike is bringing up his days in wrestling. Let's get back to the story. Brian's got a story to tell. Let's hear more of it.
There and said, we're holding you out. No, you can't. You can't go. You're forbidden. Was there a trainer there? Was there somebody to protect him? Was there a test done?
There was on Boxing Day, and this is where I'm really confused about this too, because there was a referee during the actual match,
Right.
and I don't know why there's not charges, but I'm probably guessing that's one of the witnesses that came forward, and maybe there was some type of immunity deals given out to testify, because there was a referee, and then come to find out, from what I found out, their actual credentials or their the credentials or certifications that they get was actually expired. So I'm sitting here and I'm going, why is this fight not being stopped? Like, he's been violently knocked down in the first round multiple times. Why is this not being stopped? And it was allowed to continue to go. And that's where the failure is on the leadership of these four troopers that were overseeing this. And the thing that makes it worse than this too, Mike, and this is really what goes up my ass sideways, is that, and I know you're going to play some clips here in a little bit, but the thing that goes sideways up my ass is that you hear the lawyers talk about their impeccable service records.
Right?
They served our country. And listen, I want to make sure that I make this very clear. I don't get down on people that serve our country, but I think that's the added thing to this, is that you have training. You're a trained police officer, you're a trained state trooper. You've served our country, which I'm thankful for, but that makes it even worse in my opinion. Like, you should have known better. Like, if you've gone through that much training and you're out there on the battlefield saving lives, then this really should have clicked in for you and said, hey, we need to stop this. And they didn't. There was a lot of negligence in this. Might be muted again.
Uh-oh. Awkward.
Sorry, New Hampshire dude. Twice. I'm so like happy and chilling today. I'm going back to my old ways. I'm relaxed with you, Brian.
Oh my. He mutes his mic and I'm relaxed with you, Brian. I'm going back to my old days. I'm relaxed.
That's what it is. It's like I'm too relaxed. I'm too chill tonight.
Too chill tonight. I'm gonna mute my mic and I'm just gonna let you talk and then have awkward silence for a little bit till I figure it out.
I've been good lately. We're getting a lot of super chats. We got people in the chat.
They don't like the super chat.
Oh, they don't like the super chats, Mike. They don't like it. Don't bring that up. They don't like it. Who don't like it? But they don't like it. They don't like the super chats. So maybe that's why Nan don't give the super chat no more. Doesn't give the $4.99.99. What's going on? Like I said, Nan, you can give $4.99 here if you want. I know I'm a lost cause. I know that, but I mean, these two aren't. Okay.
Don't like that. You know, they probably get.
They got mad. They're counting the super chats.
Pen and paper out there.
I noticed that they're clocking my super chats now. They were like, Mike didn't get any super chats for like a week. And it was like I hadn't done a show in a week. Like they're literally clocking how much money we're making.
Like
it's
that,
so funny. But New Hampshire dude 603 who went to Bridgewater State College, where I
like what you guys do to Turtle Boy and everybody. Oh, they got to be making some money over there. They got to be making some money. Now somebody brings it up with you, and all of a sudden they don't like it. They don't like it.
I went. Said BSC had one of the best athletic trainer programs. Good point, Mike. And I will note, New Hampshire dude, probably the most successful dude or person that
this New Hampshire dude. That's the guy that came on and he ripped on me too with Nan. So he's got a wrench for Mike. Look at that. That's the guy. Yeah, he was on X. He was ripping on me.
I know from Bridgewater State College is a dude named Jimmy Wayland, who was my suite mate at one point, and he ended up being
your what? Your sweet mate? SWEET mate? Sweet mate? Mike?
The New England Patriots athletic trainer.
Oh,
this whole
wow,
the whole thing. Like ever since we left college, he's been hanging her. He started under Parcells, and he was with Belichick, and I think he's still there. I mean, he disappeared off the grid. I know why, because he probably knows all of us degenerates from Bridgewater State College would be asking about injuries so we could gamble and things like that. So I haven't talked to him in years, but he's been doing really good, and good guy, Jimmy. So, hey, he almost got me be an athletic trainer. I actually was like following his footsteps for a few months, and then I was like, nah, I'm going to history. I became a history major, but I swear to God, the athletic trainer
history major
well, Bridgewater. But that's beside the point.
So he didn't even study journalism. He never studied marketing, promotions. Like he said, he's the best in that. But here he is. He's a history major.
We're off track. I'm getting off track. Let's stick to Enrique Delgado Garcia tonight. But the big thing is, I just can't believe in this day and age, like I said, 2026, it's been 36 years since I had that incident. People saying they're figuring out how old I am. They don't think it's possible because I'm only 35 years old. But I mean, think about that, how long ago that was.
You don't look
and they had that set up at a state college. Why the hell doesn't the Mass State Police have something to protect?
Yeah.
LG said a lot of things in here. I want to bring a few things up. Here it is. She said she had zero experience, basically.
Isn't that somebody that Turtle Boy knows, this LG? I think so. I think he mentioned that he knows her. Interesting.
But fighting as a kid. And I have to say, like, I fought as a kid, but I didn't know shit until, like, I was in that wrestling room. You know what I mean? Like, so you really, even, I got in a lot of fights
fought as a kid. You got beat up as a kid.
Really about fighting or technique, and, you know,
until you get some
instruction or some practice, some time in. And it takes a few weeks, to even know what's what. And I just can't believe they put somebody like a black belt against you if you had no experience. LG. That just seems crazy.
Yeah, I took.
She said she was trying to take a 60-question test with a concussion.
Yeah, good luck.
That's,
yeah. I took some. We got scammed back in the '90s. I took Kenpo karate. There was a guy.
See, when they tell stories, you don't even know if they're true. That's the thing. You know, Brian could have read a story like this and then put himself in it.
In my local town at the time, and we went in there and paid a whole bunch of money up front to him. You know, he's like, "Oh, you got to pay 6 months up front." So we get in there. You know, like some of us made it up past like white belt. We get to I got to yellow belt with a white stripe. You know, this guy. You know, we went in there and he was a black.
Right. The white belt with the yellows, or the yellow belt with the white stripe, or whatever. That means you were a canary. That's what that meant.
Said he was a black belt. We went in there and paid him a whole bunch of money up front, and we only made it through like 3 months or something like that. And then all of a sudden one day he closed up shop and ran off with a lot of our money.
That's
So,
the
like, all
problem
these
with those places. A
parents-
lot
Like I said, he probably read that and then he put himself into it.
of those karate places, they end up shutting down.
Yeah.
Yep.
They don't get enough. They get too, you know, they're not good business people. A lot of them, unfortunately.
Took our
Not
money
like you,
and ran
Mike.
off. Coward.
Oh,
Let's talk some more about
you
that.
should have done what I was doing: open mats, wrestling.
Here we go.
Oh, we gotta get in shape.
I was playing.
You were going to get back on track here. I thought you guys were going to get back on track. I guess not.
in a band, Mike. Like that's like what I did out of high school. You know, like
Yeah, there you go.
junior high and high school, I was playing all the, you know, in the clubs in Boston and Providence and traveling up and down the.
Is that true? Anybody know if that's true that Brian was in a band when he was in high school and playing up and down Boston area? And I'd like to know if that's true too.
East Coast, like, you know,
What did he play? I want to know what he played. The instrument. I wonder what it was. Flute? Do you think he was Jethro Tull playing the flute? I just wonder. Huh. Or violin? Thought he was Kansas, from the group Kansas, playing the violin.
I look at my mom and we'd leave Friday and just go up, and we would go up to like Vermont or New Hampshire and just sleep in the car and play all these places out in Northampton and Worcester. And
Kind of a fake
you know,
Boston
that's
accent.
what we did. I played music.
I'm wondering what places in Worcester and Boston. Do you ever play the Lucky Dog?
The Lucky Dog, I know, but we used to play a place on James Street called the Espresso Bar.
Oh wow!
Ah,
And it's
That's
now, I
perfect.
believe, it's like a country music place. But we used to have all the hardcore music there and like pack like, you know, 1,000 kids into a club that would hold 300, and it's just like a big, you know, romper room in there.
That's
Just
not
people
true.
killing each other and stage diving, and
They're
it
not
was
really
fun. You
true.
know, like we had
Sounds
a lot
like
of
a
fun
good
doing it.
time. And what about
Yeah.
Boston? What type of clubs do you play? Off track again. I
Boston,
love
we
it.
played at the Rat just before it all
Oh
like
my
closed down.
God.
Remember the Rat?
No
Yeah.
way. Were you in the
yeah.
basement? You were
Way.
actually playing the Rat
Wow.
basement.
The Rat, the Middle East. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the Middle East. I used to book their shows there all the time.
Yeah.
But
I'm
I
glad
only.
that
It's funny.
survived.
I went to the Rat one time.
And we're really off
Yeah.
we're really off the rails now. Now we're talking music. Mike's going to bring up that he was a manager, and then he did all this promotion. Going to talk about some pot fest, that 50 cents that he donated money or something. I don't know. So Mike's going to get into they're off the rails from what they're supposed to be talking about.
Played
with
the
this
Rat.
group of people, right? Right before it closed. I had no idea.
Mhm.
And the dude I was with and the crew I was with were like, "Oh, we're not paying the cover." So we stayed upstairs. We never went downstairs, and I just kind of like kill myself. Like now I think about it, I was like, I was such a dumbass. Why didn't I just
Yep.
go down there, pay the cover,
Yep.
say fuck the crew I'm with? Like,
Yeah. Another place we played used to be in Providence called the Living Room. And that the guy that ran that place,
That
Randy,
was your mom's house, Brian. It was called a living room. That was your mom's house. Okay. Just helping you out.
he was such an awesome
Yeah.
guy to all
Oh
all the the hardcore bands. Like he like and he's now passed on, and rest in peace, Randy, because he was such a great guy. But
he was
you know,
a great
he was
guy. I
really-
knew him too.
he was the one that really helped push local
Mike
music in
didn't
this
know.
area.
Oh yeah.
You know, and opening up, you know, the club on Sundays to all these hardcore bands of music that like no one wanted to come in and see. You know, we're all
Yeah.
playing aggressive, loud music and stage diving. But this guy like really, you know, really opened up his club and let us come in there, and we put on, you know, big shows at the time. And It was a good time.
What year was that? Because we're overlapping a little bit. Some of the places
so this
people
is like we were playing in the living room, like starting there in like 95, 96.
95. Wow. 96. Brian was there. Wow. We got to find out what instrument Brian played. We really do. I want to know.
You were early. Wow.
Yeah,
This is even before the years I was managing and booking bands and things. That's crazy. You were there during like the peak of anyone could get signed at that moment. Like it was wild in Boston.
Yeah, we had A&R.
More about about the late 80s actually in Boston. A lot of people could get signed. Late 80s. Before 95. Of course, Brian's going to say now that some A&R guy was looking at him, looking at his band. I'd like to know who that was.
Guys looking at us, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun doing that stuff. I'm glad I got to do it. I got to meet a lot of people, and a lot of people that went on to very successful careers, like bands like like Hatebreed. I used to go out and see them, and it'd be like 5 people there, and they play massive major festivals now, and it's cool to see Jamie Josta go on.
Hatebreed, I've never heard of them. Must be is it a punk band or what? I gotta look that up. Hatebreed. They're big, playing festivals. All right.
On and have a really great career. And we used to go up to Worcester and watch and go to like local bazooka. That was
Dan
always
Hotwell.
fun.
Do you know Dan?
Yeah.
You ever go to his house? I went to Dan's house.
No.
I got drunk. Oh my God. The last time I got drunk was on my birthday.
Oh.
And it was Dan Hotwell. I was with him actually at the Middle East downstairs.
It's really taking a turn. It's supposed to be. This is something else. This is what I thought it would be. Actually, just took them a little bit longer to get there. So they got to tell their own stories about how good they were. But here they are on YouTube. Here's Mike. Worked at AIG. Money making Mike. Was fired because of smoking too much dope. But he's a success on YouTube. Look at him. Then you got Brian. I don't know what he played for an instrument, but anyway. So can't really, I'm going to have to do the other Brian show from earlier tonight. I'm going to have to do that maybe tomorrow night or else maybe over the weekend. But I pretty much had it with this one and everything. But we should hear my song that I did for Brian and Mike and JFK. And I put Nan in it, but just remember, I will put that love song that I did for Nan just so that she knows that, that I was thinking of her. And I will get that out. But this is the one that I put for them earlier. And it's called, YouTube Frauds. The Frauds of YouTube. Pretty much tells the story, right?
Well, I logged on to YouTube. It was a Friday night. Looking for the truth, but I only saw what seems to be a fight. There's a young jerk, LTO Media 2, and JFK show off yelling, I'm telling you, disclaimer. They claim they're heroes fighting the good fight, but it's just the same old drama shining in the light. No real talent, no content to produce, just screaming about Turtle Boy and making up excuses. Oh, they're the YouTube frauds, living on the screen, feeding off the scandal, keeping it routine. They ain't got no talent, it's all just for show. Where the real creators are, they wouldn't even know. Yeah, they're cashing in on the ching-ching from Old Man Gallagher, the Glare and the rest. While their numbers drop, they are failing every test. Hey, they whine about Turtle Boy, they scream about the Glare. They're all obsessed with power and couldn't be any scarier. They say they're standing tall, but they're living on a whim, depending on that Gallagher for that ching-ching-ching. Oh, it's a sad side, a desperate kind of scam when your whole channel's built on a social media sham. No original life, no insightful commentary, just screaming in the microphone till they're numbers drop off, we are failing every test. Randall Mike are fading right before our eyes and losing all their pride. Oh, hairpiece Brian has nowhere left to hide. Subscribers are vanishing, fleeing from the mess. It's time to find a new job, a little less stress. Maybe try a real skill, something they can handle, cause the internet is done with their manufactured scandal. Oh, whether you're too far, living lean, feeding off the scandal, keeping it routine. No time, it's all just for show. Where the real creators are, they wouldn't even know. Yeah, they're cashing in on this ching, 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 and the glare and the rest. While their numbers drop, they're failing every test. Yeah, the subs are falling fast, and they have no straws at last. Time to pack it up and head out of YouTube town, cause YouTube don't need more clowns. Michael, Randall, Brian, Devin, we did it, we did it, we did it, and yes, now we all sound like shit.
There you go. My nice song for Brian from LTL and Mike Crawford from Young Jerks and JFK Show Off. And of course, put Nan in there because she, giving him the money. Bought Mike Crawford. He brags that she bought him a new computer. So, and like I said earlier, if you go back and watch this, the replay crew, when you go back and watch, I put that nice love ballad there. It's an 80s feel love ballad for Nan, because I think I got her turning a little bit. I got her thinking. And I told her to come on the show, told her I'd help her with her reputation, told her in 2 weeks I could turn it around for her. But she said I was the lost cause. She said she doesn't do investments with the lost cause. I was a little hurt, but that's okay. I think the song will get her, though. I mean, I mentioned her German sports cars, mentioned her 499. So we'll see what happens. But so I'll be back tomorrow. Mark will be back with me tomorrow. We're going to be going at 11:30, I think, Eastern time, 10:30 Central time. And then Monday, don't forget, I'll be back with Tracy, and we'll be talking about week number 2 in Vegas with Blake Shelton. Of course, Tracy being the touring drummer for Blake Shelton for the last 23 years. And Tracy's one of those guys that did make it. Not like Crawford and Brian here. Tracy actually made it, and he's doing a 3-week stay with Blake Shelton in Vegas and having a good old time. Again, you can follow Tracy on Instagram at the Tracy, Tracy Broussard, Broussard, the Tracy Broussard. He's on Instagram. He's showing all that stuff that's going on in Vegas. And we're going to talk about it on Monday. I believe, again, it's going to be later in the afternoon on Monday. I'll pin that down probably Sunday night with him and everything. So, but I'm sure that week 2 has probably been more exciting for him. And matter of fact, I think his buddy Smoke 207, he's on the Whatnot app. Brian Lally is his name, Brian Lally. Not to be confused with Adam Lally, but Brian Lally. He's Smoke 207 on the Whatnot app, and he sells shoes. And you could get some great deal on shoes if you go there on the app. His name is Brian Lally, and he's a friend of Tracy's, and just selling those shoes. But he's coming into my town later today because he's going to Luke Combs' show at Lambeau Field where the Packers play in Green Bay. He's going there for later tonight, and then also Saturday night he's going to be there. So he's coming into town. We'll see what kind of shoes he has, if he brought any with him. But so Tracy's boy is going to be coming in, and we'll see what's happening with that. But Monday, like I said, it'll probably be later in the afternoon. We'll check on Tracy, see what week 2 was in Vegas, see if he got in any kind of trouble. And again, you can follow him at the Tracy Broussard at Instagram. Okay. That's where he's at. And he's also on Facebook too. He pretty much, if you find him on Facebook, Tracy Broussard, he'll pretty much accept anybody's friendship. He really will. I mean, he's kind of that way. He wants all, he wants all the limelight. He wants everybody to, come on in and be his friend. So, but you can find him on Facebook, and it's always a good follow because he shows everything that's going on whenever he plays, wherever he is. He'll show his drum set. He'll show, everything that's going on for that night. And then when they do the show, he usually does a nice video of all the people that are at the show. And I think he did one for tonight. I think there's one on his Instagram and Facebook for tonight. So I'll be back, like I said, tomorrow morning, about 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern time with Mark. Mark's got a lot to talk about. I know he called me earlier tonight, left me a message. So he's working hard. I know he was watching The Glare for a little bit, and he's watching these two knuckleheads for a while. So he's been doing some research. So I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say tomorrow. So please join us. We appreciate everybody that'll check this out later tomorrow or whatever you do. Please hit the like, hit the share. We need the share, all right? We need to get to 200 subs. That's the goal right now. Get to 200 subs. And don't worry about me and Nan. It's going to go slow, but I'll turn her around, all right? And I'll get her on the show here, hopefully, and we'll try to help her reputation a little bit, all right? Maybe she comes back to the good side instead of hanging around with these knuckleheads. So hopefully, maybe she'll hear my nice ballad for her, and that'll turn her head. So again, I appreciate everybody to check this out and share, like, and subscribe. And we'll see you tomorrow morning. Have yourself a safe night.
In the hum of a studio where the levels run high, there's a voice cutting through like a lightning sky. That master of media is holding the throne. The audio wizard, his name Jeff Stone. He's taking names while the cameras roll, with a sarcastic grin and a heart of gold. Changing the game one upload at a time, making the hustle like a victimless crime. So come join the flock, don't you stay behind. Leave the boring old world and the daily grind, with a laugh and a thought to get you through. Jeff's got a brand new perspective for you. He's the king of the mic, the influence of soul, keeping us steady and taking control. Now Boston, Ginger Sharp, and Mary B's got the whip. J7 and Hippie Chick are making a hit. Dusty and Jan are the brains of the crew. But there's plenty of room in the rafters for you. Don't let the smart kids have all of the fun. The master revolution has only begun. He'll roast you a little, then lift you back up, pouring pure chaos in a coffee cup. So come join the flock, standing 10 feet tall. Stop being a stranger, get in on the play. Jeff Stone's gonna help you survive the day. You come join the fly, come join the fly. Thank you, hippie chick, for getting the channel out. You come join the fly, and that's Stork Media. Jeff is ready to ride.